Rigged.
It's the game
We're
is
talking
rigged.
about rig, R-I-G, in this.
What's the difference?
Well,
Rigged. It's a rig. It's
no,
all
if something's rigged, it's like you mess with the integrity of whatever's going on. You're cheating, right? But this is rig, which is like your equipment,
gear, yeah.
right?
Yeah, she's trying to tell me something that I don't know, which is interesting, really. I find it very interesting. She tried to explain to me who this guy was when it first came on. What's his studio is called such and such and hurts me.
Okay, we are Susu and the
She said
Wolfman.
something in the last video.
It's good.
She'll never live down.
Well, I could bring up things you'd said, but
Recently? No, you can't.
It doesn't matter.
Bring
doesn't
it.
matter.
Bring it.
No, I can
Bring it.
Sorry.
We're so silly.
We're Susu and the Wolfman and our dogs Boo and Buster hanging out with us here in the studio. We're here today to look at some rig from Frog Leap Studios, Leo Moracchioli, and we probably
Moracchioli.
say Moracchioli. Okay.
I'm on the second part pal. You know that. This is made that
so he really likes Leo and he likes rig and he's
Leo
wanted to do something you would enjoy.
A lot of my channel, there's Leo on there. What are you doing?
It was an accident.
Because he does only covers, and his covers are amazing if you don't know who this guy is.
Okay. Well,
this is going to make me want more stuff, just so you know. Go ahead.
Well, we have to do videos, so you just have to curb your enthusiasm. Oh, I'll tell you what to do.
This is Rabir from Frog Leap.
I'm Aaron from Frog Leap.
This is Truls from Frog Leap.
This is Leo from Frog Leap.
And we're geeking out to Gearcon.
I've never seen Ian do anything live. I thought it was only yesterday.
Well, good. Maybe you can explore that and see if there's anything else out there.
Hi there, my name is Leo and I run a YouTube channel called Frog Leap Studios, and right now I'm in a band called Frog Leap where we do some metal covers, and we're here in Stavanger doing our debut concert. Sold out more or less, and it's gonna be awesome. So our gear is minimalistic. Actually, the whole thing that started the band was the shuriken. Because when I started recording my songs, it was never intended to play them live. So I was switching between 7 strings and 6 strings and banjos and whatever within a song. It just wasn't possible to do it live without having 4 guitar techs, like switching guitars between every 2 minutes. So when I found out about this, it's possible to do it because it has everything you need. You can go from a 8-9 string, I think, to a standard tuning. So banjo, sitar, acoustic guitar. So this has been a really good product for making the band, the Shuriken from Line 6.
Line 6.
So we use, both me and Rabias using this straight into the helix.
Yep.
Because we need the helix to be able to control the different tunings with a push of a button. So we're basically just running the helix straight into the PA. We have no amplifiers or cabinets on stage, all in-ear monitoring. And yeah, it has all the effects that I need. I use a lot of like whammy effects. Woo! Yeah, we even saved our presets, like when I'm playing guitar on songs, I'm panned right and Rebea's pan left. And when he's playing alone, he's like in a stereo mode. So the sound guy, in theory, doesn't need to do anything. Like with the panning and volume, we can just save everything and just run through the patches as we go for each song. So yeah, it's pretty new age technology, and I've never been a purist when it comes to either guitars or amps or anything. As long as it works for the purpose, I'm all in. So I'm using a Scream 808 in front to the line 6 Bedonk amp, and then I'm going to my own impulse response. Yeah, it's a Mesa V60, and then I just have a overall EQ at the end. So it's really, it's so simple setup. If I don't have any effects or stuff, then I can, then I have a bit more like modulation or delay or whatever, whammy. So yeah, what's cool about it, you just save the presets for each song, and you just start that, always start here, like intro, rhythm, bridge, end, and this include all tuning. So it can be drop A, E, octave below E.
You pause
So
it.
yeah,
Okay, so what he's saying, if I'm hearing right, he's a guitar that has extra strings, right? That 7 strings pretty common, but what that Helix does, which I know the name very well, is that he doesn't have to change anything on his guitar. He can run it through the Helix. Tell me if I'm wrong, and you people out there, and the Helix will change the tuning for him. And I don't know how that works, but that's very, very cool.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I seem to think that he wouldn't need that other guitar if he's using this. Couldn't he use a regular guitar or not one
That's
that?
what I was, maybe it's the extra strings, because he did mention, you know, having the extra strings for banjo. I mean, he doesn't switch out anymore. He uses 1 string guitar.
Oh, that's
Run it
one.
through the
It's like a
Helix.
synthesizer.
The guitar?
Yeah, because it
whatever
plays
it is.
banjo and this and that.
Yes, yes, so you said it, okay, yeah, I heard what you said now.
But I thought he wasn't. I thought that once he went on stage, he was using a regular guitar, and that.
He's using a 7-string guitar
Okay.
that's made by, and I don't have it in my head now. When he said it, at first I was like, I never heard of that. And now I know what he's.
Okay.
I
It was the first guitar he held up.
yes.
He looked nostalgic about it too,
Yeah.
because that's what started everything in his
Right.
studio. Okay, gotcha.
endless possibilities. So I'm using this as the standard sounding mic, and I have a lot of radio effects on my songs. So I wanted something so I can switch between, not a pedal for it, and something that just looks different. So when I'm holding it, it's like more like do another thing than just holding it
That's
like
cool with
this.
the mic. What it is.
So yeah, it's a radio effect, and I'm really happy with this gooseneck actually that
Yeah.
I just put on the stand. So yeah, it works. I kind of ripped it up from Les Claypool in Primus. He has
Primus.
sort of a similar setup, but I've always been a fan of the radio effect on the voice, and
Radio effect.
yeah, that's
What?
Radio effect meaning, sounds like a, radio from the 40s or 50s.
Oh,
yeah.
cool, like that.
basically my rig.
Hello everyone, my name's Rabia. I'm playing guitar for Frog Leap Studios, Leo Moracchioli. And yeah, we're here in
Right.
Stavanger doing our first gig. It's also my 30th birthday. So there's a little bit of a, facts for you. Anyway, I'm here to talk to Trey from Gear Gods about the rig we're using, or I'm using, in Frog Leap. It's completely different to anything I've ever personally used, ever. So, I'll start with the guitar. This is my guitar. As you may have noticed, there's more than one. This is the Line 6 Variax Shuriken, which is the signature model.
Line 6. Line 6. I did not know them to make guitars. They make processors. Go ahead.
For the awesome dude Stevic from 12 Foot Ninja. And this is the guitar that he designed with them, and it's a beast. Basically, it's a guitar, but it's a variac, so it does all the tuning thing, and you can change the tuning of the strings, and it can do like different sounds like acoustics and banjos and all that kind of stuff. So for Leo's music, it's really important that I can do all those different sounds with it. Otherwise, I'd be using sort of standard sort of guitars, you know, like traditional guitars. Whereas with this, I have to change tuning mid-song, and I have to use like banjo sounds and acoustic sounds. And so, yeah, it's perfect for that. And it also looks really cool, and it plays really good. So I'm very, very happy with it. So that's my guitar. It runs directly into the rest of my rig, which is the Line 6 Helix. I've never really used any kind of floorboard modeling stuff for live purposes. I'm always very much into my valve amps, pedals, you know, big pedal board in my guitars with I even go as far as passive pickups, you know, I'm not even an active pickup guy. But for this gig, it's the most perfect thing because I've got each bank I've got set up to be a different song. So you can see if I go to let's say patch 1, you can see feel good intro, then I've got the main sort of riffing tone, I've got a verse tone, I've got the banjo sound, I've got the lead. So I can literally map out each bank per song, which is mega, mega cool. And it's nice and bright LED screen, so you can see exactly what you're doing when the lights are going crazy. And also with the expression pedal means I can do all the whammy and wah stuff. So it's kind of like, it's all in-house. And because we're running in-ear monitoring, because we've got all sorts of like, you know, sampling tracks going on in our ears and all that kind of stuff, and because a lot of the gigs are going to be in different countries, I can fit my entire rig in a backpack and a guitar bag, and that's it. So I can even fit my clothes in my bag.
Are you jealous?
In a way I am. In a way I am.
So easy.
I think that eventually, I like having a lot of room and weighted and stuff. Eventually, keyboard players will carry that.
Something lighter,
Yeah.
like the.
Like you said, fit in almost in the background.
Bag for my Helix. That's how compact we are. In any case, that's the whole rig. So that's basically me. If I was to talk anything else about rig-wise, it would be my in-ear monitoring, which is I use Shure SE846 in-ear monitors, and we use Shure PSM 300 wireless transmitter. And we also, if I put this back, and then I show you the wizardry that happens in our ears, it's all using the Behringer X32 rack. So this is our in-ears rig. You can see this is the Shure transmitter stuff. And then this is everything we hear goes into here. So we can split everything out. So the front of house gets all the drums, guitars, bass, everything, vocals. But then we also get a feed. And the best thing about this, being that it was made by Midas as well, is you can use either the Behringer app or the Midas app and control everything from your phone. So I can do my entire in-ear mix from my phone on the sliders and get it perfect. You can pan stuff, you can add compression, reverb, delay. It's mental. But that's my rig.
I'm Eric. I play bass with Frog Leap. We're now in Stavanger, gonna do our first show. And I'm gonna run you through my gear. So, we start with the bass. I run I think it's an 04 Music Man Stingray, all stock.
Pretty.
Made some, just some stuff with the looks on it. Using DR High Beam 545 strings. I really like those. With the Stingray, you can just go straight in whatever, and you can just cut through more or less every mix you want. And also playability and stuff like that is really good. I've had Stingrays since probably late 90s. Using those, been fairly happy with those. I use an old Line 6 wireless. It's a G30, G10, I don't know. Someone will probably correct me if I'm wrong. With this, I tune all over. It's a 5-string set on a 4-string bass. Now it's in A standard. That's what I use for most of the songs. For some particular songs, I will go drop A sharp and stuff like that, just because it has to just to get it more easy to play the riff in some certain songs, but mostly A standard. Like I said, G30. Just tuner, compressor, just to make everything all nice and smooth. And we use it's a dark glass compressor. Really happy with it, really. Also, as you can see, all of the effects and boxes are dark glass. Use the Alpha Omega. It runs from the compressor through the Alpha Omega, and we take one DI out of that, and then it runs straight into the Vintage Ultra, and then another DI out. So the idea is that we just the Vintage one is for the main sound, like clean-ish, and for the verses and choruses and stuff. And then when we go down and do the ultra heavy bits, we engage the Alpha Omega Ultra or distortion, and it just flat out just ruins everything. So it's pretty cool. But also during the like verses and everything, we use both signals. So we have a little bit of that EQ in the normal ones and the other one as well. But then that just tops everything off in the metal parts. And that's more or less it, I think.
Hello, people. My name is Truls Haugen, or as you say in American or English, Trolls Haugen. I'm the drummer for the band Circus Maximus, and now I'm actually playing for Leo's band, Frog Leap. As you can see, as we are doing our first gig ever in Stavanger in Norway. Can't wait. I'm going to tell you something a little bit about Leo's kit, actually, and my cymbals. This is a Tama kit. I think it's a Superstar. It's pretty new. Got a great cool finish on it with Evans drum heads. I think it's actually a Gretsch snare, but don't tell the Tama people about that. And I have some Meinl cymbals, which I'm endorsed by. This is by Zanz, I think they're called, by Zanzi. I have no idea what they say, but it's a 20-inch China, a 20-inch crash, a 17-inch crash, and an 18-inch crash, and a 12-inch splash. I also have a 22-inch Soundcaster Fusion ride. And I got some Soundwave, yeah. Soundwave hats, 14-inch. And we don't talk about the Wuhan. That's just a replacement because I broke the other one. And I have a little stack thing because I don't usually use stacks, but Leo's music, he has a lot of stack stuff going on, so I have to try out that stuff. I think it's
stacks.
16-inch China.
The price tag on the top of that?
Well, it may be.
It looks like it.
He's stacking the two cymbals together, is what he said.
Oh, okay, he doesn't normally do that, but for Leo. So a smaller one on top of a bigger one?
Yes.
And 12-inch vinyl splash on
Looks like
top for those short China-ish sound stuff-ish, whatever. And I have some really cool pedals. I have the Pearl Demon Drive pedals. Been my pedals for the last 10 years. Well, not these. I have probably broken a few since then. But so to the guys at Tama, make some direct drive pedals, and I will get them. And I will support the Tama stuff, not the beep Pearl stuff, whatever. Then I got some awesome signature sticks from Tama as well with my ugly name on it and some blood. This is a mixture between 5-Ace and 5B. My own recipe, no coding.
Oh, yeah. Do drummers often get cut?
I would think so, as hard as they play. I don't know.
Not just the ones you've worked with?
I've never heard anybody say they have, but they may have. Now, fingers get bloody. You know,
Yeah,
when I do my riffs and stuff.
right.
Whatsoever, just natural finish so I don't get blisters.
Blisters, yeah.
And actually, we're running tracks for this gig. I actually switched to, in my other band, Circus Maximus as well, we're using the Cymatic or Kinetic audio live player,
which is really cool. This is actually my first gig using this. And I got an Allen Heath mixer just to hear myself through ACS molded inner plugs. They're awesome.
They mold those to your ear. So
And,
it's typically your-
My cheat sheet. I'm gonna sing "Eye of the Tiger." I'm doing lead vocals actually, so that I need a little cheat sheet for that. This is actually a songbook, actually. It's just called. It's pretty cool. This is the official frog lip kit, actually. This is the exact same kit you see in all of Leo's videos. The new one. He has this ugly white and black kit that he uses on the old videos, but this is a new one. I just took away one of the toms because I like more of a Tommy Lee setup for this thing. It sounds awesome. It's got a hyperdrive kind of thing going on. It's much easier to tune, and the finish is really cool. I have no idea what it's called, but it's really cool. It looks kind of unfinished. So I like it.
So there's a bunny on the stage
Yeah,
and
he
a
is
bunny.
bunny in a lot of his videos.
He is.
I thought he was the bunny, but it can't be both. Right.
The bunny, the bunny.
Oh, we love the bunny. Giant bunny made of chocolate.
They are fighting in the dance and the dance and their bounce and their bounce in your head, are you crying? In your head, stop it, stop
Well, I have two initial things. One is that I know you're a big Leo fan, and I've watched him with you sometimes. I'm not as big a fan, but I mean, I recognize his talent, don't get me wrong. But seeing him speak about his gear, he was so meek and mild compared to, yeah, such a gentle kind of, made me like him. And the other thing that I realized is that I know nothing about music.
That's not true. That's not true. You know as much or more than the average person because you listen to a ton of music. He turned me on to groups I've never would have listened to that I love. The Warning, Liliac, Nightwish.
I don't know how you guys do all that stuff. There's so much stuff for the sound and like so many buttons and knobs, and you're like, oh, it's just use this, and you click on that, and
Well, here's the thing, though. First of all, you gotta love it. You gotta love what you're doing. Secondly, their gear, it's so simple. It's like it's a box. You set up a box, you're rigging, you play. And it's like working a microwave, I think.
right.
Compared to what we still have to do right now, is that, even if I was only a U1 keyboard, which I can't, it would take forever to set it up.
Is that a mixer over there that Alfie needs to come get?
Yes, I see
Okay,
it. All the
so-
time I want to come get it.
We have this mixer there.
I have another mixer right here. It's a rack mount, meaning that if it's in a rack.
And I just look at all the buttons and the knobs and go, I wouldn't know what to do with what to change anything.
Because you don't know you haven't, you're on the basics. Once you learn the basics, they're all the same pretty much. He had little mixers, but most of the stuff they had, I didn't see any keyboards, so I must be running keyboards through a rack because he does keyboards in a studio. But to me, that is the wave of the future that I don't know what else to get out. Not ever. It's going to be a while, even in Arkansas, because I see these little bands going playing, and they're carrying tons of
It's
gear.
all this huge
These
equipment.
guys are making $1 billion, and they can, like you said, I can carry it on the back.
Yeah. Well, yeah, you're right. That's the future of music is just the technology makes things smaller. I know I wouldn't be able to read any of that.
Well, going back to something you said, I didn't interrupt it. My brain, I won't forget it. You said, I look at that mixer, and how did people do it? Honestly, I look at a recipe the same way, and I'm just saying that I could probably cook if I took a couple times to make a few more advanced dishes by scratch. Usually I kind of get it, but it took me a while. I look at some of the, like the back box of the instructions, I have no idea what I'm saying. Seriously, it's the same thing. It really is the same thing.
Yeah. Well, and the things that really interest you that you have to learn
Yes.
how to use in order to pursue your
To forge
craft
your
that
music,
you're
yeah.
so driven to do probably will come more easily as well.
Yes.
So it was interesting, very interesting.
I think so. I enjoyed it immensely. I didn't think it would. She said, we have a 20-minute video to do. I was like,
Big baby.
I am a big baby. I like being big. I wish I could be a giant, but what's that movie where it's a giant? Or is it a TV show? Anyway, I digress.
Like King Kong, but a baby.
Yeah.
I don't know. You might be thinking of the Marshmallow Man and Ghostbusters.
No, I'm thinking of
It's a
a
baby.
big giant baby.
Well, then
Is he in town or something?
when you start acting like one, that can be a picture in your mind, and then you'll start laughing and stop being one.
What if I walked in the house wearing a diaper and nothing else?
Right as I was grabbing my keys and walking out of the house.
Then, which will probably happen soon.
No. All right. Well, I learned some things,
Yes.
and I learned how much I don't know, and I learned that Leo, he's not always screaming.
Did you see his set?
Yeah.
I know almost every song on there.
Yeah.
Yeah, and of course they abbreviated some of it, which is cool. You kind of have to figure out what they're trying to say, but
Yeah.
all he does is covers up. I guess I thought maybe he did original too. He does not.
Oh, you know that for sure.
Pretty much, yeah. Never seen him do one on his channel, and he didn't have any that he did. He said we were a cover band. This place,
And he's from Norway.
Norway. Yeah,
Yeah.
several of the guys from Norway, and then one from England, I think. Something like
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
that. I enjoyed that a lot.
All right. Well, you guys, thanks for tuning in to hear about gear. To
Gear gods.
hear
I gotta check that out. too.
about
Hear
gear.
about gear, and we're here.
You can react to gear gods with me all day, son, but you
All
have to
day.
not be a big baby about how long the segments are.
Well, you guys can't come to me and say we're doing a 20-minute video and not saying it's about gear. If you said it was about gear, I would still be disappointed.
I
if that
couldn't
20
get the words "it's about gear" out of my mouth before you started bitching about the 20-minute part. But anyway,
Oh, sorry.
thank you guys for joining us.
Yeah, we love
And
you.
until we see you again, be blessed.
Hey, and don't hurt anybody. Especially on my gear.
Put your hands on those cymbals.